The Kennedy Center Board of Trustees has voted to rename the Performing Arts Institution to include President Trump. The full new name will be the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts. A spokeswoman for the center says, quote, "The unanimous vote recognizes that the current chairman saved the institution from financial ruin and physical destruction." But some members of the Kennedy family are not thrilled to hear this. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes has more on that angle of the story. Joining us from the White House. Nancy, good morning. Tell us what you're hearing from the family on this news.
Essentially, Errol, they are confused and in some cases horrified by this change. They don't understand why a living president, Donald Trump, would want to put his name alongside a late president whose name has been on that building for many decades and who lost his life, who was assassinated during his presidency. Maria Shriver, for example, a member of the Kennedy family, called it downright weird and obsessive of President Trump to want to be on that building. Remember that the reason that this board voted so overwhelmingly in favor of the name change is because when President Trump took office in January, he quickly moved to fire all the Democratic members of the board and replace them with supporters of his. I also spoke to Congressman Joe Kennedy, former congressman from Massachusetts, who is the grandnephew of John F. Kennedy. He pointed out that this would be like trying to rename the Lincoln Memorial, that it simply isn't legal to change the name of the building. Take a listen.
The name is protected by federal law and federal statute, and that obviously hasn't been changed. So he can call an apple a banana, he can say down is up, or they can say it, whatever that is. That doesn't make it the case. This is not just another building. It's not a skyscraper in New York City. It's not something whose name is up for auction. It is a living legacy to a man who gave his life for our country. And one would hope that any American, let alone a president, would understand that.
The Kennedy Center was authorized originally by Congress, and so it would take an act of Congress to rename it officially. But that has not stopped the Kennedy Center board from changing the name already on the website. And even Kennedy family members say that they fully anticipate that the name will be changed on the building as well, at least for now, because there really isn't anybody to stop the board.
All right, Nancy Cordes with that interesting perspective. Nancy, thank you.